Mary the Jewess wrote a poem describing the alchemical process that became known as Mary's Cry. It states, 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, and out of the third comes the 1 as the fourth. Alchemy consists of a series of unions, births, deaths, and rebirths. This procreation and sacrifice symbolism is central to the whole art. That's just a little snippet from Tracy Twyman's book, Money Grows on the Tree of Knowledge. And Tracy Twyman is going to be my guest on the Stench of Truth radio show, live Friday, April 29th, from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on blogtalkradio.com/The Stench of Truth, where we will be talking about money, alchemy, the occult, and esoterica. And I'm sure we'll hit upon the subject of the royal wedding as well. So join us for a fascinating discussion. That's Friday, April 29th, 7 to 9 p.m. live for 2 hours. Me and Tracy Twyman, esoteric researcher, on blogtalkradio.com/The Stench of Truth. Hello and welcome to another edition of The Stench of Truth here on YouTube. I am taking a little break from my workout right now just to do an update video to talk about some of the issues related to Obama's birth certificate and a couple of other things that I wanted to bring forward. Now, someone had posted a comment that I was lending a defeatist attitude, but for people who have been with me for a long enough time know that I'm constantly looking for ways that we can be effective in our activism and protesting, and it has just devolved to the point now where the entire political spectrum is nothing but a fucking dog and pony show, literally, and quite literally. And because what the politicians are doing in their obeisance to corporations, Wall Street, and the rich is so in your face and so anti-human and so anti-middle class and so anti-seniors and so anti the poor, and so blatantly so right in our face, then this is obviously the policy that they absolutely are going to adhere to. So there is no political solution. Vote for anybody, it doesn't matter. All of the candidates are beholden to corporations, or failing that, they will be beholden to corporations, Wall Street and the rich, if they get into office. So I repeat my assertion earlier that your heroes are dead. There are no heroes. No one's going to come riding a white horse and save the fucking United States. And for any of you out there who still hold a glimmer of hope for Ron Paul, you'd be better served to dump your faith in him right now, because even if he's being set up to be the next president of the United States, whatever you get out of it, it is not going to be what you want. I guarantee it. You're better off not putting your faith in something, because your heroes are dead. And if they're not dead now, they will be dead. Dead to you anyway. Either bought off or just fulfilling their ultimate agenda anyway. And it ain't going to be for your benefit. Now, so activism. Activism is important. Protesting is important. But where we need to put our focus is on fucking money. That's it. If we had $1 billion that we could pour into pour into the politicians' hands, they would listen to us and they would enact laws that we wanted. Because they are being fed, propped up, and supported by billions of dollars from corporations, the Wall Street financiers, and the rich. If we had billions of fucking dollars, they would do what we want. We don't. What can we do without the money? We can affect the flow of fucking money. That's what we can do. That's where the activism needs to be. So, start affecting commerce. Stage walkouts. Block entrances to banks. Keep trucks from running by laying down in the road with a bunch of your friends. Cause a spectacle. Keep things from happening. Keep commerce from going on. These things can be done on a small or large scale. You affect the flow of money. You affect them. That's how you get noticed, and that's how you get change. That's the only thing that's going to work right now. There's absolutely no political solution. Realize it, face it, understand it. There is no political fucking solution anymore. It's dead, overdone. There would be a political solution once you affect the flow of commerce. Then you may get the politicians to actually notice and do something. It is only through that action that they will even care a damn. There's a lot of backlash towards Paul Ryan's budget and the direct attack on Medicare, while giving more tax cuts to the rich and more tax cuts to corporations who don't pay their taxes now anyway, and to the rich who pay even less than the rate that they are going to be paying under the new reduced rate. So I don't see the real logic behind that anyway, but I guess it just means they'll get more money and their rate will be even less than half of that of the middle class. Which is a travesty unto itself, but these people, that's their agenda. It doesn't matter what you think or say about it. It doesn't matter whether it makes sense or not. It doesn't matter anything. There's no political way to argue this point. That's their agenda. That's what they're going to do. Obama is going to adopt basically what is the Ryan budget. He is going to end up being the great compromiser, because that's what this year is all about. It's all about compromise and people coming together. The illusion of right and the illusion of left, with the illusory guy in the middle, Obama, the mythical hero, and more about which in a second, will bring these two supposedly far apart sides together. Now, never mind that the agenda is written and both sides play their role. The end result will be something similar to what Paul Ryan's budget is: destruction of Medicare and Medicaid, and greater tax cuts for the rich and corporations so that they can continue to bleed the country dry, and fuck you and everybody else that isn't one of them. Period. End of fucking discussion. Now, on to the birth certificate. Now, a lot of people are commenting about, oh, it's a fraud, it's a forgery, etc., etc. I don't know anything about documents, okay? I can't tell whether it's real or not, okay? But the point I'm trying to make, and the reason why I did the video, is to point out to you that this has absolutely nothing to do with proving Obama is a citizen. Nothing. This document is being released now only because it is going to serve some other political purpose. That's it. It has nothing to do with it. In fact, it may even be better in the long run from a strategic point of view for Obama to issue a document with obvious flaws in it, so people will continue to be obsessing over it. And he will continue to garner the energy and benefits from being this mythological hero that we don't really know his past or where he's really from. Exactly like I said before. So if the document is a phony, maybe they put out a phony on purpose, just so he could keep that aspect. Like having his cake and eating it too. This is a signal, nothing more. A signal for some major thing to come. I guarantee it. Write it in stone. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to admit it in a video here. Mark my fucking words. It's just a signal for some greater thing to come down the road, and come soon as well. And I deliberately did not talk about the Indonesia and the adoption and all the other stuff because it doesn't matter. Yes, I understand it matters from a constitutional point of view. I'm not dismissing the idea of its reality, but you need to focus on other things. Because here's the thing. Gather up 10,000 piles of fucking documents that prove Obama is a space alien from fucking Planet X, and he was born in Kenya and then died and was cloned in Indonesia, so he doesn't even have any birth or anything, or he's a robot or an android. It doesn't fucking matter. You could have whatever you have. It doesn't matter what kind of fucking documents, how much fucking proof you have. You are never going to unseat him in any fucking court. You're never going to do it. Period. So, harping on the issue is going to do absolutely nothing. So it doesn't matter. Because Pursuing that angle is going to gain you nothing. This is a signal for some greater thing to come. And I think it might have to do with the fact that they're finally starting to see the sun catch up to itself, with coronal mass ejections and giant flares. As solar scientists say, the sun has a way of catching up with itself. When it's dormant for a long period of time, when it should be steadily increasing in activity, it has a way of magnifying its output all at once in order to catch up, like a dynamo. And what we're seeing with these massive storms and tornadoes and destruction through this country that has affected nuclear power plants here as well, increasing this idea of radioactive danger and death and cancer. Maybe that's what's coming. Maybe we're in for one hell of an electromagnetic storm from the sun. It's going to finally do this country in because we have no fucking infrastructure. And we had no plan and never did have a fucking plan to tackle all the major problems in this motherfucking country, to try to fix them and try to harden them for the kind of calamities that could come very easily to this country like they did in fucking Japan. And there isn't a motherfucker who has any kind of plan to address this issue. In politics, anyway. Part of my plan requires immediate investment in infrastructure. Vast hiring of people to fix, harden, and maintain new, better power plants. And all of the other things that are essential for modern fucking civilization. And yet you have these people all tripping over themselves with bullshit and austerity. Now, where the fuck is Obama and his fucking leadership? I hope there's no one out there who still has this little pitter-patter of hope and love for the change of Obama, who is steadfastly running around collecting as much fucking money as he can to run for re-election, while there are people dying by the scores, by massive storms in this country, and I don't see him doing a fucking thing. Oh yes, he did take time out of his busy fucking day of fundraising to release his birth certificate to so-called quell this issue once and for all, when he's done nothing of the sort. Understand, everything that is being done, everything that these people do is carefully crafted and manufactured. He does exactly what he's told, he goes exactly where he's told to go, and he does exactly what he's told to fucking do. That goes for everybody else too. So-called Republicans, so-called Democrats, so-called left, so-called right, etc. They're all the same. Corporate fucking shills playing a role, saying the right words. There is no fucking savior. You're never going to have a fucking savior. Get over it. You have to take control of your life and put it in your fucking hands. And the only way you can do that is stop the flow of fucking money. Unless you got $1 billion to spend, or 10 billion, or maybe 100 billion would even be better. That's the only way. You understand? That's it. Attacking this from a political perspective, dead. Useless. Pursuing anything more on the Obama birth, useless. There will be no resolution in that department. As I said before, the Rubicon is crossed. Even if he is completely 100% fucking legitimate, and he turned over all of the remaining so-called hidden secret papers tomorrow, there would be vast amounts of people who refuse to fucking believe it. And even if all this stuff remains hidden, and even if you have a mountain of evidence to prove that he's a fucking clone alien from the inner earth, you're never going to prove it in a court or get him forced out of office. Period. So right now, what are we facing? We're facing a possible calamity as the sun reignites. And vast swaths of storms race across this country, killing scores of people. While we're continuing to rain death and destruction in Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, the Sudan, secret wars in Africa, and of course Libya, where we will have troops on the ground very fucking soon. You can take that to the fucking bank too. You're seeing the development of the modern Vietnam over there. Oh, officer advisors, just like we were in Vietnam. It lasted for a period of time, but then the ground forces came in. So watch for it, people, because it's going to happen. And start taking a look at the infrastructure in this country and start realizing that this is a national security emergency, what we're facing here. And I see Obama flitting about to his $20,000 a plate fucking dinner. Much like Bush did, hiding out at his ranch whenever everything went the fuck wrong. Obama is no different than any other president that came before him. He just does what he's told. And what he's told to do now is go collect money. And that's what Barry's doing. Fuck the people dying down south. Fuck the infrastructure falling apart. Fuck our waiting on a calamity coming in this country. And that may be exactly what this birth certificate release is meant to signal. That we have a major fucking disaster coming here. As the sun heats back up again and we are hit with wave after wave of giant magnetic storms. And the storms will keep racing, crushing, and destroying. And Obama will continue to go and collect money, while the Republicans continue to try to convince senior citizens and the poor that it's a good thing to destroy Medicare and give bucket loads of cash to the rich so they can get a voucher that won't even pay for half the coverage that they get now, while also having to pay a lot more out of pocket to cover the difference. And it'll be even worse down the road. But this is the agenda, folks. That's where they're going. Trust me, the end result will be a budget very similar to what Paul Ryan has issued. And Obama will be the one that sells it in this year of compromise, while the country is systematically destroyed. Make no fucking mistake. Hold me to what I say in this video, and I'll be the first one to make a video and say I was wrong if I am. Thank you. Good day.